Hey my glam girls, welcome back to my channel. It's Chelsea, where we talk about all things glam and all things girly. So today we are doing a bronzer comparison. So we have the new Colored Raine bronzer going up against the new Christian Dior Forever bronzer. And so we're going to demo both of these on the face, talk about their similarities, their differences, because I'm comparing the two because I think we might have a dupe. I don't know, but we might. So we're gonna do all the things, and then of course I will share with you my final thoughts at the end of the video, so stay tuned for all of that. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. If you are new to my channel, I'd love for you to consider subscribing and joining the Glam Girl Squad, because we'd love to have you, and let's just get right into this video. So like I said, we've got Colored Raine with a new bronzer, and then Christian Dior graced us with another bronzer. So when I looked at both of these just off of color, I was like, oh, these look similar. Let's compare them. So let's start with Colored Raine. Like I said, this is a new launch for them. They just came out with these bronzers, I want to say about a month or so ago. Here is the outer packaging of the bronzer. I really like this plastic. It's nice and sturdy and thick. And I also like the cream color of it. This is the back of the bronzer. It does come in 6 shades, and I have the shade Caramel Delight, which is the second to the lightest. This is what the bronzer looks like on the inside, and it does come with a nice size mirror. So like I mentioned before, it comes in 6 shades. It retails for only $16, and we get a total of 8.5 grams of product with this bronzer. Some high points of the bronzer: it says that this is a buttery smooth formula that will give you an airbrush smoothing and pore blurring bronzed and sun-kissed finish look, making your work look extra seamless. This is a matte bronzer, so no shimmer at all. And the shade Caramel Delight is formulated for medium to medium dark skin with golden, yellow, and neutral undertones. This product is vegan, it's cruelty-free, paraben-free, and gluten-free. You can also buy the bronzer with a brush for a total of $21 should you want to purchase the brush. I just wanted to get the bronzer, and so that's what we have here. So going in with my Yano series brush, this is the 02 brush. I'm gonna go in, tap my brush here. All right, did a few taps, got a nice amount of product. If you're not familiar with Colored Raine, they are a Black-owned, woman-owned brand. We actually had Colored Raine on our Behind the Beauty show, and the owner is Raine. Fabulous. She's such a just warm and beautiful spirit to be around. So, you know, I always think it's beautiful, and it's even better when you can connect with a brand and a brand owner. It just makes you appreciate their hard work and ethic that they put into their products. So I was very excited for her in this launch because I knew she had been working hard, you know, wanting to make sure that she got the formulation right, but also the undertones that people need. So here is the bronzer. Apply it to the face. I think this blended out really, really nicely. I really do like the undertone of this particular bronzer. So I do feel like this bronzer has some neutral tones to it, but it's also yet warm. It doesn't look red. And just to give you my preferences for bronzers, I love matte bronzers, and I love for them to have more of a neutral tone to them. So not overly warm, not overly red, but like my favorite bronzers tend to be those that are neutral. So I really do like this tone of bronzer. Okay, this is really pretty. This does not feel like a $16 bronzer, let me just say. I also like when I put my brush in the pan, there's not a lot of kick up. Actually, there's no kick up at all. So it's not messy. That's just a personal preference for me. So I noticed that, I wanted to mention that. So here is what Colored Raine's Caramel Delight looks like. And I'm here for it. I really do like this one. Okay, now onto Dior. So here is the Dior bronzer. This is their Forever Natural Bronze. I have the shade 07 Golden Bronze. I love this quilted outer packaging. It just looks so nice and luxe. The back of the packaging is plastic, and When you open it up, you also get a nice size mirror, and then here is the bronzer itself. So as you can see, just off of color, they look similar. So this is what they look like side by side, and the colors are not identical, but they were close enough to where I wanted to see how they looked on the face. So some quick information about this bronzer. It is going to retail for $48, and it comes in 8 shades, and we get 9 grams of product. So just 0.5 grams more of product in the Christian Dior bronzer compared to the color Raine bronzer. This is the Dior Forever Natural Bronze Powder. It's gonna create a sun-kissed look for a complexion that is radiant with vitality. It is soft and lightweight. It has a texture that blends seamlessly with the skin for a natural long wear result. It also says that its formula is enriched with 95% mineral origin pigments, and this bronzer has been dermatologist tested. This particular product does have a fragrance to it. As with most Dior products, the colored Raine bronzer does not have fragrance in it. So I wiped off my Yano series brush. You know, we have to have some type of consistency. Here's the product on the brush, blending it in. Okay, so that blended out seamlessly. I mean, just took this brush, tap, tap, tapped along the perimeter of my face, and I feel like this blended out really, really nicely. Now, major differences between colored Raine and Dior. Dior definitely has more of a red hue to it. And while we're at it, let's do some swatches so we can see these, you know, a little closer on the face and then also in swatches. So here is the Dior and here is colored Raine. So we've got Dior and colored Raine. And so you can take a look at the two bronzers. You can definitely see the red in the Dior bronzer, and then you see more of that neutral tone in the colored Raine bronzer. When swatching the two bronzers, the colored Raine bronzer is not as soft in texture as the Dior bronzer. The Dior bronzer feels very soft and almost satin-like. Colored Raine definitely feels more powdery, has a little bit more texture to it, but I think it does still blend nicely. If I had to choose between the two in terms of blend, I think the Dior blended effortlessly. I mean, literally tap, 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 there we go. I also like that, I feel like with the Dior powder, I didn't I didn't feel like I applied a lot, even though I feel like I put the same amount of powder on the brush to put on my face. With the colored Raine bronzer, I think I applied too much. I know I applied too much. So even though this blended out nicely, I feel like right here, it's highly concentrated. And so I feel like with the colored Raine bronzer, you do need to go in with like very little to get a lot of product on the face. So what I'm trying to say is I feel like the Dior bronzer is probably a little bit more foolproof compared to colored Raine, meaning that, you know, if you're just like, all right, let's just go into this colored Raine one, you're gonna put too much on your face. So for colored Raine, I think you just need to do like tap and apply. It blends beautifully, but I feel like with the Dior one, I can kind of be a little more rough-handed like I tend to be, and it still looks more seamless and more flawless on the skin. So looking at them both on my face, I think both look really beautiful. Like I said, I think both blended out really beautifully. I just feel like with the colored Raine one, you've got to really be a little bit more cautious with it because you can overdo it. You can get too much on the face, which would make it a little harder to blend. So I think with the colored Raine one, go in with just one tap, blend it in, and I think it would blend beautifully into the skin. I love, like I said, the neutral tone of this bronzer, but I also love the reddish hue of this one. It's not too red. It's like very complementary to my skin tone. So Are they dupes? No, they're not. I think it's very clear and evident, you know, also based on the swatches, that they're not dupes in terms of color, and then they're also not dupes in terms of formulation and texture. The Dior one is definitely, like I said, more satin-like, and just very seamless and silky on the skin in terms of just how it blends, and also, in my opinion, how it looks. I think they're both are beautiful. I would definitely recommend the Colored Raine one. Like, I think it is beautiful, and I would reach for the Colored Raine one too as well. And I would just go on with less product. But I do think, based on your complexion, one of these bronzers might be the better fit for you. So looking at the Dior website, and I'll also insert a picture of it, I think Dior has more flexible shades for complexions. So you have their lightest shade, which looks very light. It looks like it has like a nice yellow base to it. And it says that it is fair bronze. It's suitable for a very light skin tone. And then it goes all the way to deep bronze, which is suitable for very dark skin tones. So I think for the Dior bronzer, if you are of a lighter complexion, I would definitely say fair to light. You might prefer the Dior bronzer based on how you like your bronzers and the undertone of the bronzers. Now for the Colored Raine's website, when you look at their lightest shade is Charming Chai Bronzer. That bronzer is not nearly as light as the lightest shade on the Dior website. And so the great thing about the Colored Raine website, I would highly recommend you go to their Instagram page, because they demo all of their bronzers on various skin tones. So for instance, when I first went on their website, when they first came out with the bronzers, they demoed Caramel Delight on a very, very fair model. And initially I was like, is this gonna work for me? Because it blended beautifully against her skin. So it's not saying that if you have very fair skin, you can't wear the Colored Raine bronzer, but if you like your bronzers to be very light, almost like undetectable on the skin, like it's there but barely there, their lightest shade might not work for you based on your preferences. So you might want to check out the Dior bronzer. Chelsea here, and it's very early in the morning, but I forgot to mention the Colored Raine bronzers go extremely deep and rich in their bronzer shade. So if you do have a more richer complexion, a deeper complexion, that you're not sure if the deeper shade in the Dior bronzer would work for you, Colored Raine came through with the richness, with the depth. Like, she nailed it in terms of making sure that she got the bronzer shades right for any and all depths of color. So I commend her on that. Like, she did that. Definitely check out Colored Raine's bronzer, especially if you're not sure if Dior would be, you know, either the right depth for you or also the right undertone. Because when I looked at the deeper shades of bronzers on the Colored Raine's website, like I said, not only does she go deep with them, but then she also has a couple of variations of undertones that I think would work best for you. So that's where Colored Raine reigns supreme when it comes to people of color who do need that deeper shade and also a difference of undertone and not just all red. So I would say check out both bronzers, look at the shades that they offer, and then based on what you prefer in a formulation, what you prefer in skin tone, that would help you make a decision on which bronzer would be the best one for you, or just get both. Okay, no, you don't need both. You don't need both. Unless you want both, then get both. But in terms of, you know, formulation, I think Dior's formula is better. I love this satin, silky texture. Even, like I said, to the touch, it felt silky and it just felt very satiny. Like I said, I love that with this Dior bronzer. I mean, tap, 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 and I feel like it is blended, literally. So I think the Dior gets a plus for blendability. I think Dior gets a plus for its formulation. Colored Raine gets its plus for color, because like I said, I love a neutral bronze, but I also really love this reddish hue. Like if I want to go for like a reddish tone bronzer, this is about as red as I want to go. The formula of Colored Raine, although I don't think it's better than Dior, I do think it is a very nice formula. It blends beautifully. And like I said, this does not look like a $16 bronzer on the face, and it does not blend like a $16 bronzer. This definitely blends like a high-end bronzer. So I think both these products are great. They are not dupes like I initially thought, but I do think you can't go wrong with either one. It just depends on which one you prefer and which one you like best against your skin tone. So I hope that this was helpful, and let me know your thoughts. Which side do you think looks better? Do you think Colored Raine looks better? Or do you think Dior looks better? What are your thoughts? Let me know down below. And if you've made it to this point in the video and you have yet subscribed to my channel, why haven't you? Go on ahead and consider. I don't want to force you to do anything you don't want to do, but I would really like for you to consider subscribing and joining the Glam Girl Squad, because we'd love to have you. And guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope to see you in my very next video. Bye guys.